Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rejoice Arena, where we have a matchup between the Lady Eagles and the Lady Patriots as we are set underway here. High school in the low post, and an early foul here on Metro. Foul is going to be on number 12, Natalie Powell. Rejoice obviously coming off of that crushing defeat to Lincoln a couple of days ago. High school rims the first one in for the first points of the game. And she makes the second, 2 for 2 at the line. Kyla Reed bringing the ball up for the Lady Patriots. Steals in the contest against Lincoln. Heavy pressure defense by Carricker. Getting it over to Brown. Brown swings it over to Etheridge. Brown inside again, no good. Carricker pushing the pace for the Lady Eagles now on the right wing. Cross-court pass over to Hurst. Hurst gets it to Honeycutt at the top of the key. Picking up her dribble at the high post. She's double-teamed by a couple of Patriots, almost losing the ball. Regains possession. Driving low post behind the back. Gets it back out to Carricker. Carricker drives right wing. Back in the low post to High School. Getting it back out to Carricker, who's going to let a three go. No good, short. Rebound Metro, Powell. Getting it over to Reed. Reed swings it over to Brown. And they're going to get her for the travel. The ball is going to go back to the Lady Eagles, who is going to take her time and bring the ball up the court. Rejoice playing the patient game so far, like they have been. As I say that, quickly uncorking a three is Honeycutt, no good. Foul is going to be called. Foul is going to be called on Etheridge. That is her first foul of the game. Ball will stay in possession of Rejoice. Carricker and inbound. Getting it inside to Honeycutt. Honeycutt double teamed. Losing her dribble, and the ball is going to go back out of bounds. It's going to go off High School, and it's going to stay, or it's going to go rather, to Metro. Just under 6.5 to go here in the first quarter. A 2-0 lead for Rejoice. Reed gets it over to Etheridge in the right corner. Bringing it back up to the top of the key, getting it over to Wilson. Wilson swings it back over to Reed. Reed in the left corner now, getting it over to Brown. Brown bringing it back up to the top of the key, over to Etheridge. And a tipped pass by Carricker. She's been a force on the defensive side as of late. Reed with the ball, trying to make a move on Carricker. No way. And Carricker swarming Reed, getting it into the low post to Brown. Brown trying to make a move on High School, cannot do it. Gets it over to Wilson, left baseline. It's stripped away. And a crazy shot is no good. Metro having no answer for this tough Rejoice defense so far as Honeycutt bringing the ball up quickly for Rejoice. Euro steps inside, and she's going to get it to go. Madison Honeycutt. 4-0 lead for the Lady Eagles so far. 5.5 to go here in the first quarter. Reed swings it over to Powell. Getting it over to Brown, back over to Reed. Reed's going to let a three go of her own. No good off the back rim. Rebound Honeycutt. Metro trying to slow her down. She has been able to. Stops and pops. Three is good. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Madison Honeycutt off to a fantastic start so far in the first quarter as Rejoice leads by 7. Reed guarded by Carricker. Swings it over to Etheridge on the right wing, getting it into Brown in the short corner. Getting it back inside to Etheridge, and it is going to be swatted away. Rather, that was Reed. Foul is going to be called. Foul will go to Carricker. That is her first.
To the line, number 3, Kyla Reed.
And Reed knocks down the first one. Rejoice already off to a better start than they were against Lincoln just a few nights ago, as Reed knocks down both free throws. 7-2 now your score, 4:47 to go here in the first. Rejoice doing a great job so far of taking their time and taking the right shot and not the shot that these girls want. Force on the left wing now. Driving inside on a few Metro defenders. Pass goes through the hands of Reed. But it was last touched by Carricker, and the ball will go back to Metro. Reed at the controls now for the Patriots. Swinging it over to Powell. Powell gets over to Brown. Brown gets it back to Reed on the left wing, heavily guarded by Carricker yet again. Powell lets a three go, nothing but the bottom of the net. Metro responds quickly, 7-5. Rejoice playing a little bit quicker now as Carricker's going to skip a pass over to Hurst in the left corner. Hurst going to drive to the left elbow, picking up her dribble. Trying to find an open girl. Gets it over to Carricker on the right wing, getting it inside to High School at the high post. High School trying to make a move. She's going to put up a circus shot, no good. Rebound Honeycutt. And a little bit of physicality down there below. Foul is going to be called on the floor. That will go to Miley Brown, as it seemed like she was forcefully moving Honeycutt out of the way. Substitution will be made for Metro. Mackenzie King is checking into the game for the Lady Patriots. Carricker inbound for the Eagles. Going to get into Honeycutt at the short corner. She's going to bring it out to the left wing. Now immediately getting it back inside to High School. She's going to let a short hook go, and it's good. Sarah High School for two. Reed now pushing the pace for the Patriots. Getting it over to King. King quickly lets a three go. No good. Short. Foul is going to be called. Metro in early foul trouble. The last thing you want to see if you are the Patriots. Foul is going to be on Natalie Powell. Her second early here in the first quarter with 3.5 to go. You've got to think Julia Wells is going to be making some potential adjustments here. Carricker picking up her dribble at about the volleyball line, getting it over to Hurst at the top of the key. Hurst swings it immediately inside to High School, who has been forced so far. Puts a little too much mustard on that one off the left side of the backboard, no good. Reed now bringing the ball up for Metro. Here in transition, making a quick move on Carricker. Carricker doesn't flinch. King had the shot, decided not to take it, gets it over to Brown. Or Powell, rather. And Etheridge knocks down the three in the left corner to cut the lead to 9-8 with just under 3 minutes to go. Carricker now swings it over to Hurst on the right wing, who gets it immediately to Honeycutt in the right corner, trying to make a move on King. Stopping inside. Gets it over to Hurst. Hurst loses it for a second. Skip pass over to Carricker. Carricker swings it over to Force. Force gets it into High School on the low block. Shot is up, and shot is good. Sarah High School off to a great start so far for Rejoice. The lead is now 11-8. And for Metro so far, they have seemingly had no answer for Sarah High School in this inside offense of Rejoice. As the ball is tipped, and it is going to be off of Metro and go back to Rejoice. Seemingly in the past few days since our last broadcast, Rejoice has made some terrific adjustments here on defense. Carricker bringing the ball up for Rejoice at the top of the key, swings it over to Hurst. Hurst throws a beautiful pass over the head of the Metro defender. Honeycutt is not able to convert on that. Reed with the rebound. Metro in the fast break now, getting it over to King on the right wing. Skips it over to Etheridge, gets it in the corner. And it is good. Abigail Wilson knocks down the three from the left corner, a tough shot. Carricker at the top of the key for Rejoice. 1.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. We are tied up at 11. Honeycutt now with the ball. Looking to run the offense. Quick ball screen from High School. Honeycutt having a wide open lane to the basket and gets it to go for two. Madison Honeycutt on a great take. .13 up is the score here. Etheridge with the ball on the left wing gets it over to Wilson, who knocked down the three earlier. Wilson driving inside, and a foul is going to be called. Foul is going to go on Sarah High School. That is her first. Want to keep her out of foul trouble, as so far just here in the first quarter she has 6. And the first free throw for Wilson is up and good. Despite the score being close, Rejoice has seemingly been controlling the pace of this game for the most part. And Wilson makes both free throws, 13 all is the score, just under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Honeycutt bringing the ball up now for Rejoice. Swinging it over to Force, and it's going to be just out of reach for her and go off her fingertips. So the ball will go back to Metro with a chance to finally take a lead here. 45 seconds to go here in the first. Reed heavily guarded by Carricker at about midcourt. Picking up her dribble, gets it over to Wilson. Wilson driving in the right corner, gets it back out. Powell swings it back over to Reed. Reed driving inside. The floater is up and good off the glass. 15-13. Rejoice looking to respond, likely going to be taking the last shot here. Honeycutt on the right wing now. Skip pass over to Force, almost intercepted. And Metro's wanting a carry. Refs are not going to call it, though, and Honeycutt is stripped. 8 seconds here in the first quarter. Metro going to need to get a quick shot off. 5 seconds now. Etheridge driving inside, gets the layup up, but it is not going to fall. And after a high-intensity, first quarter, Rejoice leads this one 15, or not Rejoice, Metro leads this one 15-13 over Rejoice. So far, liked what I saw from the Lady Eagles. They have made a leap in terms of intensity, and they've done a good job moving around on defense. They're swarming Metro. Metro seemingly just making circus shots. The only thing that they're kind of struggling with, Rejoice, is that help side defense. Other than that, playing straight up, they're doing a good job keeping the girls out in front of them. But other than that, they're struggling on that help side. We've seen a lot of threes get up uncontested from both corners, and just those skip passes in general have been defended lacklusterly, to say the least. So, going forward, hopefully Stephanie Greenland will be able to make those adjustments to where these girls can fly around a little bit more and get some contests in those skip pass situations. We are about set to go here in the second quarter now. Again, 15-13 is your score in favor of Metro. Joyce now playing a too-high type of offense, or defense, rather. High ball screen from Powell. Reed trying to get around Carricker, but it is not going to work. Carricker swarming Reed. Reed finally gets a ball screen, gets inside. Floater no good off the left rim. Out of bounds off Metro, and the ball will go in possession of Rejoice. Carricker now bringing the ball up for the Lady Eagles. Guarded by Reed. Honeycutt trying to get open in the short post. Does a quick cut inside, gets it over to Force. She is swarmed by King. And she is going to get the foul called. That is her first. And Rejoice is doing a great job of getting contact and getting these Patriots in foul trouble. Carricker inbounding it to Force at the top of the key. Guarded by Etheridge. Force driving inside, kicks it back out to Carricker. And yes, they are going to get her with the travel. Did not gather her feet. Did a little bit of a 1-2 without taking a dribble. Metro with the ball now, just over 7 minutes to go here in the first half. Left corner over to King, and they're going to let her shoot it. I guess it paid off as it is too strong off the back rim, no good. Rejoice now in transition. Honeycutt bringing the ball up. Guarded by King, driving toward the middle, picking her dribble up at the high post, trying to get it inside to High School. High School backing down her defender, and she's going to get the bucket to go. Sarah High School having a great first half so far. She's got 8, and she is making easy work of this interior defense for the Lady Patriots. Reed, quick swing pass over to King. They've been letting her shoot. Looks like they're going to keep allowing that kind of space, as a foul is going to be called as Natalie Powell was trying to drive to the basket before she was met and hit hard by Sarah High School. That is going to be her second.
Number 12, Natalie Powell.
Nothing really to worry about, though. Powell knocks down the first free throw. And the second one's too strong off the back rim. And Metro is able to get their own rebound. Powell now top of the key, gets it over in the right corner. Too strong for Wilson. Carricker with the rebound and pushing the paces. Rejoice getting it over to Honeycutt, doing a behind-the-back move, almost stripped. She's looking for a foul, doesn't get it. No one's guarding her, lets a three go. Yes, sir! Madison Honeycutt knocking down a deep three. And Rejoice has a 2-point lead here with just under 6 to go in the first half. Game's getting chippy. We like it as Metro is going to try to respond. Wilson nowhere near the basket. Just touched nothing but air. Carricker now pushing the pace for Rejoice, driving inside. She's met by a few Lady Patriots. Honeycutt's got another clean look, too short. Battle of the air balls in the past couple possessions here. And Miley Brown is going to be checking in for Rejoice. Or not Rejoice, Metro, excuse me. It's been a long day, folks. Done a lot of traveling. Reed bringing the ball up for Metro. Swinging it over to Brown. Reed now in the short corner, guarded by Carricker. Carricker's done a good job on her assignment tonight. Powell driving inside, and it looks like they're going to get forced with that one. You can't really call that on high school. She stayed straight up, didn't jump at all. Yeah, they're going to get Isabel forced with that one. Just kind of looked like Powell lost her footing there, but I guess they're going to give them the foul. Checking in for Metro is number 35, Addie Mulder. She will come in for Etheridge. Ball gets into Powell, and that is going to be another foul on force. A great attempt at the steal, but just a little too much contact, and right in front of the official's face, they're going to call those 10 times out of 10. Finally, a clean inbound here. Brown on the left wing, driving inside, kicks it back out to Reed. Reed trying to make a move on Carricker, gets into the middle of the lane. Too strong on that floater. She's gotten that look a few times and not able to convert on many. As Hurst now is bringing the ball up for Rejoice. Met by a couple of Metro defenders. Back up to Carricker. Carricker swings it over to Honeycutt. Honeycutt lets a three go. Yes, sir! Madison Honeycutt knocking down another triple as she has 13 points so far here in the first half. Metro struggling on defense to stop this Rejoice offense. Quick 30-second timeout here. Again, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this Lady Eagles team. They have made tremendous adjustments. As I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but you know, this looks like a completely different team than from the one that was playing Lincoln just a few nights ago, that were not able to hit shots, turning the ball over, not, you know, taking their time and running their offense. Now they look a lot more relaxed. They look more comfortable. These girls are doing a good job flying around on defense and then, you know, waiting patiently and getting the right shot on offense. So, again, just a well-rounded performance so far for Rejoice here in the first half. 4:42 here to go before intermission. As Reed is bringing the ball up for Metro, swings it over to Powell. Powell gets it over to Brown, back over to Reed in the left corner, guarded by Carricker. Brown at the top of the key, guarded by Force now. Not going anywhere. Short corner now. Over to Mulder. Mulder swings it back out to Powell. Powell gets it to Reed at the top of the key. She lets a three go. Nope, that's going to be off the back rim. No good. Madison Honeycutt bringing the ball up for Rejoice now. Trying to get it over to Carricker. Threw it right at Reed's face. And Honeycutt got her own deflection. Missing her shot. And High School lets a shot go, and it is no good. Foul is going to be called on Madison Honeycutt, and the Rejoice faithful here are not happy about that one. To me up here, it did seem like it was a bit of a soft call, but for the most part, these officials have been letting the girls play, so they're bound to make a mistake a time or two. Reed swings it over to Boulder. Boulder lets a three go. No good. Too strong. Rebound, Lady Eagles. Honeycutt bringing the ball up. She's been fantastic so far here in the first half. guarded by Brown. In my opinion, that's quite the mismatch, swinging it over to Hurst. She's guarded by Boulder. Hurst gets her spot and lets a jump shot go, and it is going to take a few friendly bounces. And Cassidy Hurst knocks down the jump shot from the elbow to extend the lead to 7, 23-16, with just under 3.5 to go here in the first. Powell now at the volleyball line, heavily guarded by Force, trying to make a move on her. Force doing a great job staying in front of her and cutting her off. Reed getting by Carricker there, gets it back out to Boulder, and another air ball. Looks like Metro had a little too much, candy to eat. Their fingers are quite slippery, not able to get a good grip on the ball as they have airballed a couple times here tonight. Force lets a three go of her own, and no problem. Raindrops for Isabel Force, knocking down the three in the left corner to take a double-digit lead for Rejoice here. And Metro seemingly having no answer for this run the Lady Eagles have been on offense or defense. Powell at the top of the key now trying to work on Force. Picking up her dribble, gets it over to, that was Abigail Wilson, who was able to slice and dice through the paint and get the left-hand layup to go for two. Finally stopping the bleeding a little bit, cutting the lead down to single digits, back to 8. Hurst now at the top of the key. Driving on Wilson. Low block. Gets it popped out, but Honeycutt is there to get it. And tried the circus shot, but it does not go. It looked like it had a chance. Reed now pushing the pace for Metro. Patriots are moving the ball around. Wilson lets a three go. Too strong yet again. And Mulder gets the rebound and is met by a couple of Rejoice defenders, but she was able to draw the foul and will go to the line for two. Boulder looking for her first points here of the game. And she is still going to be searching for those points as she bricks the first free throw. And she will continue lurking for the buried treasure that are points as she goes 0 for 2 at the line. Hurst now at the top of the key. Getting it over to Force. Force in the short corner now. Gets it tipped away. The ball will stay with Rejoice. Wilson doing a good job on her, knocking the ball away. And a substitution will be made for Metro. Etheridge is going to be checking back into the game for Mulder. Doesn't look like Metro kind of is doing what Rejoice has done. As Honeycutt knocks down the short corner jump shot, they're not doing a lot of substitutions. Both teams are kind of letting their starters play and rotating a player or two maybe. Reed getting the ball into the low post to Powell. Powell swings it back out to Reed, guarded by Carricker. Swinging the ball around over to Etheridge. Etheridge now driving on Hurst, and the foul is going to be called on Cassidy. Just got a little more skin than she did basketball. First foul of the game for Hurst. Just under a minute and a half to go here in the first. As Etheridge is going to rattle in her first free throw. Lead is now 9. And the second one goes in, no problem. The lead is now 8. Honeycutt, who has 15, bringing the ball up for Rejoice. Swings it over to the left wing, over to Carricker. Carricker getting it inside to Hurst. Hurst sizing up, driving over to the elbow, trying to get to her spot again. The ball is ripped away by Etheridge. Etheridge having a clear path, but Carricker's trying to hawk her down. And a little bit of an intimidation there as Etheridge is unable to convert the gimme fast break layup. We missed those back in my day. I sound like an old man, but we missed those back in my day. That is a lot of conditioning. So got to think maybe Metro will be focusing on their layups going forward. Carricker now at the top of the key for Rejoice, just under a minute to go. The lead is 8. Lob pass inside to Honeycutt, and she is just grabbed. Foul is going to be called on Wilson. And with the mismatch that Rejoice has in favor of Honeycutt there, I guess for Metro the only thing you can do is foul because it's a free 2 points. She had a clear lane to the basket. Out to Force, going to let a three go. No good, too strong off the back rim. Scramble for the basketball again, and it's on the floor. High School's going to get it, letting go an elbow jumper, and that is going to be an air ball. And Carricker tried making the save there, but she was out of bounds, and the ball will stay with Metro. Reed now bringing the ball up for the Lady Patriots. Swings it over to Brown. Brown's three-pointer no good, too strong. Honeycutt now pushing the pace, getting it over to the short quarter to Carricker. Carricker trying to bring it back up. Swing pass over to Hurst. Hurst gets it back over to Honeycutt in the corner. No good, just off the left rim. Ball is tipped, and the ball will go to Metro with 14 and a half seconds to go in the first half. Gotta think Metro's gonna hold and take the last shot here. Just 10 seconds to go now. Swinging it over to Etheridge. Etheridge guarded by Hurst, getting it over to Brown. Brown swings it back over to Reed. Reed's three is up, and it is no good off the back rim. Rebound High School, and that is just gonna be the final shot of the first half as Rejoice coming out strong with an 8-point lead. I don't see many adjustments needing to be made personally. They've been knocking down their shots and swarming the Patriots on defense. So overall, a fantastic start for these Lady Eagles going here into the second half. I would like to see a little bit more of, what I have seen so far. As plain and simple as that sounds, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So with that, we are going to be taking a short break. And welcome back to the second half, ladies and gentlemen. Rejoice holding an 8-point lead, 28-20. Metro trying to get a quick shot off here. Powell inside, kicking it back out to Brown, or Wilson rather. Over to Powell. Carricker bringing the ball up for the Lady Eagles. Driving inside. A little too strong on the layup, no good. Ball is off the Lady Patriots and will stay with Rejoice. Getting kind of physical here to start the second half. Carricker to inbound. Gets it outside to Hurst. She's going to let a jump shot go. Not enough juice on it as she is going to airball that one. Honeycutt getting the steal, though, and a quick bucket for her. Madison Honeycutt with her 17th point of the game. Rejoice's lead is now 10. Reed bringing the ball up for Metro, trying to find a response. They have struggled to do so. Over to Powell, trying to redirect Etheridge, getting it over to Brown. Brown trying to get it back out to Etheridge, and that is going to be another Metro turnover. As Rejoice will look to continue to build on this lead. Carricker now bringing the ball up for Rejoice. Hurst trying to create a little separation off of Etheridge. Now we see Honeycutt trying to get a little separation. Looks like the play was designed for her, not going to be able to get it to her though, as High School has it at the near volleyball line. Honeycutt now finally gets the ball. She's driving inside, going to spin. Spins once, spins twice. Going to get it inside to High School. High School's going to let one go. It is no good. Rebound by the little one, Lila Carricker. No good. Reed bringing the ball up now in transition for Rejoice. Swing pass is intercepted by Carricker. Her 8th or 9th steal in the past couple of games, but turns it right back over and Metro gains possession. Swing pass over to Powell. Thought about taking the shot over Force, but decided not to. Going to look for a better option. Getting it over to Wilson. Wilson, short corner pass. Swing over to Reed on the right side. It is good. Kyla Reed knocking down her first three-pointer of the game. She has had several of those looks, but not able to convert up until then. And the lead is now 8. They're actually going to give her a 2. It looked like it was a 3 from here, but I guess her foot was on the line. Force trying to make a move on Etheridge. Cassidy Hurst is wide open for 3, and it is no good off the front iron. Metro now pushing the pace, but Hurst is there to intercept the pass, and Rejoice has numbers. Pass to Carricker. She's going to try to swing through, gets it inside to High School, and there's going to be a scramble for the ball again, and it is a jump ball. Ball will stay with the Eagles. Carricker gets it out to Force. Force driving inside, met by a couple of Metro defenders, and that ball is taken away by Wilson, who gets it over to Reed. Is going to slow it down for Metro. Redirecting traffic. Reed gets it in the corner over to Wilson. Wilson gets it up to Brown. Brown driving inside on High School and Honeycutt. Almost gets it stolen. Wilson driving inside, now trying to get the layup to go. And she is going to get the charge. Lila Carricker drawing a charge there. Good job standing in there and taking a lick. Those are not fun. But if you can execute it, it's practically a free turnover. Carricker now at the controls for Rejoice. Trying to get it in the short corner to Honeycutt, but it goes through her hands. Metro in transition. Layup is up and good for Powell. And Metro slowly starting to cut into this lead a little bit. Still a 2-possession lead for Rejoice. 30-24 is your score with about 4.5 to go. And Coach Greenland's going to be calling her first timeout of the second half.
It's a 30-second timeout.
And so far, I mean, it's been just as physical as it was in the first half, but it just kind of looks like Rejoice is starting to go back to their old ways of turning the ball over, and we cannot see that, obviously. So, you know, going forward, I just would like to see them control the pace of the game like they have been for majority of the first 2.5 quarters, a fourth of a quarter. Slow the game down, take the right shot, don't force anything. Swarm them on defense, because at the end of the day, if you play them straight up, Metro has shown that they are incapable of creating their own shot. The only points they're really getting are at the free throw line and then off of wide open jump shots. So if Rejoice can limit them in transition, don't let them, play the numbers game in transition, Rejoice will be back out to a comfortable lead here. Hopefully it'll be able to start here on this possession, as Force is going to get it into Carricker. High School trying to set a high ball screen. Carricker went off it a little bit, getting it over to Force. Force driving inside, and that is going to be a travel, as it almost looked like there was a magnet pulling everybody toward the free throw line as she ran into her own teammate, and that will be a turnover for Rejoice. Powell at the left wing, trying to make a move on Force. Shot is up, and it is good. Mackenzie King knocking down the triple, and the lead is now 3 for Rejoice. So just like that, a comfortable 10-point lead for the Lady Eagles has been cut down to 3 in just a matter of minutes. Going to have to find an answer, as Force is now in the short post and turning the ball over. Another scramble for the ball. Metro in transition again, and we have a 1-point game. Kyla Reed getting the transition bucket to go. And you got to think a little bit of momentum has shifted in favor of Metro, as Reed is now playing Carricker extremely high. Carricker trying to drive on her, and the foul is going to be called on, yes, the foul is going to be called on Etheridge. Second foul for her. Just under 3.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Rejoice again holding that 1-point lead, 30-29. And to me, it seems like Metro has done everything they can to shut down Madison Honeycutt, as she has been spectacular so far through the first 2.5 quarters. She's got 17. Inbound to Carricker, gets it over to Force. Force gets it to Honeycutt. We were just talking about her, and she is going to get whacked trying to get a layup, and instead will go to the line for an attempt at a couple of free throws. And the first free throw, no problem. And checking in for the first time for Rejoice is going to be Sydney Leatherland. Checking in for Sarah High School. She's in well-deserving of a break, as Honeycutt knocks down her second free throw. Lead is now 3 for Rejoice. Honeycutt has 19. Metro now looking to respond, potentially cut that lead back down to 1 or even tie it. Short post, Powell making the moves, trying to at least on Force, bullying her inside. Gets her own rebound and one. And Powell will have the opportunity at a 3-point play and to tie this game with just over 3 minutes to go here in the third.
Number 12, Natalie Powell to the line for the extra point.
And too strong, so the lead will stay in Rejoice's favor, but Metro does get the rebound. Brown getting it back out to Etheridge for 3, and it's good. And Metro, I believe, has just taken their first lead of the night, 34-32. Just under 3 to go here. Rejoice needing a bucket badly, as Hurst is going to swing it over to Leatherland, who's at the top of the key, getting it over to Force now. Getting it inside to Honeycutt, who's going to take it on the much smaller Brown. We will take that 10 times out of 10, as Madison Honeycutt just bullied her way inside for 2. Tie ball game here at 34. Brown at the top of the key driving inside, and she is going to be called for the travel, losing her footing. Maybe not enough traction on those shoes. We don't know. And she will come out for that. So checking in for Metro will be number 13, Abigail Wilson. 2:19 to go here in the third. Tie ball game at 34. Carricker swinging it over to Hurst. Hurst trying to drive on Wilson. Ball is tipped and will go out of bounds, but will stay with Rejoice. Carricker gets it into Leatherland, immediately gets it back out to Carricker, to Hurst, over to Honeycutt at the top of the key. Ball fake, driving inside, short corner spin. And she is going to be called for the travel. Maybe she drug her foot a little bit, not entirely too sure. Looked like maybe she either did that or took just one extra step. But nonetheless, they're going to get her for the travel, and the ball will go to Metro. Powell swings it over to King, who lets a three go. No good, too strong. And Carricker pushing the pace now for the Lady Eagles. Stopping, swings it over to Force. Force gets it to Hurst at the top of the key. Back to Force. Force lets a three go. No, it's going to be too strong off the back iron. Powell with the rebound. She was met by a couple of Eagles. The ball was tipped by, I believe, Carricker, and will stay with Metro. Reed now bringing the ball up for the Patriots. Getting it over to Etheridge. Dribble handoff back to Reed, guarded by Carricker. Reed trying to drive short corner, spinning back out. Thought about it, gets it short post in there to King. King with the left-handed layup, no good, but she was fouled and will go to the free throw line to break the tie here with 1:16 to go here in the third.
It is a shooting foul, number 25 for Metro, Mackenzie King at the line.
And too much, that is going to go off the back rim, no good. And Leatherland will check back out in favor for High School, who just took a quick breather. Definitely what Rejoice needs right now is a little bit of size. As King makes the second. 35-34 is your score. Carricker now trying to get her team set. Getting it over to High School at the top of the key now. Trying to get it to somebody as she is swarmed by some Metro defenders. Carricker driving short corner. Layup no good, not enough. Rebound High School, getting it back out to Honeycutt. She's got a wide open look. She's going to be fouled. No good, but Madison Honeycutt will go to the line for 3 free throws. A crucial mistake by Metro.
That is her second. Shooting foul. Sends Madison Honeycutt to the line for 3.
First free throw is good. Make it 2 for 2. And she is not able to go 3 for 3. Missing the final one. 36-35 is your score here. Rejoice with a 1-point lead with 40 seconds to go here in the third. Reed swinging it over to Etheridge. Gets it back out to King. King swings it immediately back over to Reed. Reed getting a ball screen from Powell. Gets it over to Wilson. Wilson gets nothing there as she airballs. That has been kind of a trend for Metro from three-point land. They have not been able to really understand that you got to try to get it in the basket. So that will favor Rejoice. I was proud of that one, folks. You got to give me that one. The jokes will get better as we go on, trust me. Honeycutt at the top of the key now for Rejoice. Ball screen from High School. Almost stolen away, but gets it over to Force in the corner for 3. No good. Too strong again. Hurst with the rebound. Back out to Honeycutt. She's going to get a 3 off at the buzzer. No good. Air ball. High School with the rebound. And it goes in. Are they going to count it? The refs say no. And as you can probably hear, the Rejoice faithful are not happy about that one. But nonetheless, Rejoice is going to hold a 1-point lead going into the fourth quarter, 36-35. When they did have a double-digit lead at one point, they were up 30-20. And overall, they have been outscored since then, 15-6. Overall, you know, back to what I was saying going into the second half, they just need to slow down, play calm. You know, just take your time. There's no need to rush. You have the lead. You know, wait and get the right shot. You definitely have the size with High School and Honeycutt. You can just get it into them and hopefully, you know, play for a couple of free throws, play for a bucket at least, because at the end of the day, I just have not seen Metro have an answer for that, as they are giving up a significant size advantage to those two. Play to your strengths, play inside. They're able to get their own rebounds if they miss. You know, I mean, Metro, for them, I mean, They just need to start knocking down their shots. They've struggled shooting the ball. Several air balls, the most I have seen in a game in a long time. But nonetheless, it is still a 1-point game, and Metro did outscore Rejoice in that third quarter. So they're doing something right, but they are still down 1 point. And we are about to get started here in the fourth quarter. And stay tuned with us after the conclusion of this game as we will get the boys' game underway here at about 7:30. Reed out of the inbound to start the fourth quarter for Metro. Getting it over to Powell, swings it over to King. Over to Etheridge, back up to Powell. Powell shot fakes on Force, doesn't phase her. Gets it over to King on the right elbow. Ball is back over to Reed. Reed trying to make a move on Carricker. Carricker's not going to bite on it. Short corner now over to King. She is met by High School. King swings it back over to Etheridge, guarded now by Hurst. Etheridge going to try to get the layup to go. No good. It's not going to take a friendly roll. And a foul is going to be called on Reed. A couple scrambles for the ball tonight. Not nearly as much as we saw in that Lincoln game, but it has been physical trying to get those loose balls, which is what we like to see from, which is you would like to see that from Metro, but you really like seeing that from Joyce. This team has been playing with a ton of heart from what I've seen. Carricker swinging it over to Hurst, getting it to Honeycutt, who is being guarded by Reed. This matchup obviously going to be favoring the bigger Honeycutt, who gets it inside, kicks it back out to Force, taking a couple of dribbles on Etheridge, sails it over High School's head, but it goes over to Honeycutt, who tried lobbing it over to High School, but it was intercepted by Metro. Reed bringing it up, gets it over to Powell. Powell gets it over to King in the short corner. King skips it back over to Wilson. Wilson on the left wing driving over to the right side, and it is stripped away by Honeycutt. Madison Honeycutt in the fast break. Has no one around her, and she is going to miss the layup, but it is rebounded by Force, and she is going to get the putback layup to go. 38-35 is your score. We thought Honeycutt was going to have no problem converting that, but thankfully Force was there to have cleanup duty. Metro looking to respond. Etheridge lets a three go, and there is another air ball. And she kind of just trots back, hands on her hips, and has to take that one on the chin. I believe that is her second air ball of the night. If we had an air ball counter, any of y'all watching have an air ball counter, please let us know. Hurst getting it inside to High School. High School puts a little too much mustard on that one. No good. Rebound by Metro. Powell pushing the pace now for the Patriots. Getting it outside to Etheridge. Etheridge lets a corner three go. No good off the left iron. Rebounded by Reed. Reed with the putback. It is good. Reed with her 10th point of the game. 5.5 to go here in the fourth. Rejoice holding a 1-point 38-37 lead. Carricker swings it over to Honeycutt. Honeycutt taking her time. Gets it inside to High School. High School being guarded by Powell. And the foul is going to be called on Powell. Reaching underneath. And the refs are going to call that 10 times out of 10. Third foul on Powell. Looks like Julia Wells is going to keep her out there, though. Carricker to inbound. Gets it over to Force, who immediately swings it back inside to Honeycutt, and Honeycutt's short corner jumper is good for two. Honeycutt with 25. Metro trying to answer on this surge Rejoice has been on here. King for three. They're going to let her shoot it again. No good. Off the front iron rebound, Powell. And Powell gets it to go for two. 40-39. Carricker getting it over to Hurst. Trying to get it over to Honeycutt, who is guarded by Wilson. Driving to the free throw line, and a foul is, no, they're going to get her for the travel. Looked like there was a little bit of contact, but it looks like she took too many steps. Metro now with the ball. Reed at the top of the key, swinging it over to King. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Probably thought Powell was cutting back door, and the pass was picked off by Hurst, who's going to get it over to Carricker. And Rejoice will reset, getting it over to Force. Force gets it short corner over to Honeycutt, guarded by Etheridge. Honeycutt gets it back out to Force. Swinging it over to Carricker at about the free throw line. Carricker makes a move and gets by her defender. No good. And Metro in transition now. Powell getting it over to Wilson. Wilson's jump shot too strong off the back iron. No good. Rebound, Rejoice. Carricker gets it over to Honeycutt for three. No good, in and out. And a timeout is going to be called for Metro. It's getting chaotic here. It's getting wild here in Rejoice Arena. 40-39 is your score. And we're back here with just over 3.5 to go here in the game. We have a tight one, 40-39 in favor of Rejoice. Metro with the ball out of the timeout. Reed bringing the ball up as she has done all evening. Swings it over to King. Trying to get it over to Wilson. Wilson guarded heavily by Honeycutt. And the ball is loose, and Honeycutt's going to dive on it. There's going to be a scramble for it, and it's going to be a jump ball. And the ball will go to Rejoice. Metro subbing Miley Brown back into the game. She'll check in for King. Carricker off the inbound. Rejoice in no hurry to take a shot here. You have the lead. Force driving inside. Ball is stripped away. And another scramble for the ball, and that is going to be a jump. And it will go to Metro, but you like to see the heart this team is playing with. A lot of hustle being shown here by both squads. Reed now bringing the ball up for Metro. Getting it over to Powell on the right wing. Crossing back over, driving toward the middle, gets it out to Reed. Reed thought about it, driving inside. Floater is up, no good. Rebound, Honeycutt. Honeycutt pushing the pace now, gets it over to Carricker, who gets by her defender. Getting it inside to Hurst. Hurst trying with the reverse layup, no good. Gets her own rebound, tries to bounce it back out to Honeycutt. Not enough, and Honeycutt's going to get called for the foul. That is her third.
Metro ball.
Reed swinging it over to Powell, who is guarded by Force. Wilson trying to cut inside, but is met by a couple of Eagles. Kicking it back out to Brown. Brown drives inside. Kicking it back out to Etheridge, who has a wide open look from three, and she's got it. 42-40 is your score here in favor of Metro. Rejoice needing a bucket badly. Ball screen for Carricker in the short corner, trying to get it inside to High School, and it's going to be stripped away. Metro in transition. Reed slowing it down now. Got to stop the bleeding if you're Rejoice. Swings it over to Brown. Etheridge now top of the key, guarded by Hurst. You got to think Metro's going to take as much time as they need, as there is no shot clock. They can practically use the rest of this minute and a half as they get it over to Brown. Brown driving inside, thought about it, kicks it back out to Powell. Powell at the top of the key, Swings it over to Etheridge, getting it back over to Brown in the short corner. Brown spinning inside. And High School staying centered. And a timeout is called for Metro, and they would probably like to have that one back as Reed's short corner jump shot was good. And with just under a minute and a half to go, Metro has taken the lead 42-40. 3 of the Patriots' 5 starters have scored in double figures so far, and versus Rejoice's one-girl show, seemingly, with Madison Honeycutt's 25-point performance so far tonight. You got to think they're going to try to draw something up for her, maybe even High School, because like I said earlier, Rejoice does have the size. Metro's just done a fantastic job of swatting the ball away. As Rejoice is kind of struggling to stay in control of the ball, they're not being strong with it. So if they can just, again, as cheesy as it sounds, stay strong with the ball, stay centered, don't be so timid with it. Take your time, wait for the right shot. You're down 2. You don't need a 3. You can take a 2 and play for overtime if you have to. You have plenty of time. You have over a minute and a half. So I would like to see Rejoice take a little bit longer once they get the ball back. But first they're going to have to stop Metro here with a minute 26 to go in the game. They're practically giving Metro any sort of jump shot. They're wanting them to get their bucket inside. Reed to inbound. A stack look here for Metro. Reed trying to get it in, but it is not caught by any Metro player, but it was gathered by Etheridge, who does not convert on her layup. Honeycutt now in transition for Rejoice. She is triple teamed as she is slicing and dicing inside. Layup is too strong. Rebound Powell. And you got to go up there and foul. Coach Greenland's calling. Looked like a foul or something. You got to get a foul here. Just under a minute to go. Metro's going to try to bleed this clock a little bit. Brown with the ball, top of the key, gets it over to Reed, who is guarded by Carricker, and they're going to try to get the foul, and they do. And with 50.9 to go here in the game, we will send Reed to the free throw line, and a timeout will be called. And again, like I said, there's plenty of time. There is no need to rush a shot, but you do need to come up with a takeaway. It's, you want to, play off because you want to try to goat them in, to shooting a jump shot. But at the end of the day, this Metro team is showing they are disciplined. They are not taking these wide open looks that Rejoice is giving them, and they're patiently just dribbling the ball out, moving it around. So Rejoice is going to need to fly around a little bit on defense, maybe even incorporate a full court press of some sort. But, you got to get a little bit more aggressive. They've played pretty aggressive so far, but overall, it's showing that they need just a little bit more. It's not been quite enough. Powell to inbound for Metro. Reed off the inbound, and a foul is going to be called again on Carricker. That is her third.
Number 3 for Rejoice. That's her third.
Powell to inbound again for Metro. And the Rejoice faithful are trying to will their girls into getting a stop, and it worked. As Carricker off the inbound tip, Force bringing the ball up, and it is stripped away by Metro. Powell losing her footing, and it is going to go out of bounds. Got to be a little bit stronger with the ball there. Like I said, make smart passes. You do not need to rush anything, as Rejoice is going to call another timeout with 39.3 to go in the game. Rejoice still trailing by 2. And you got to think Metro is going to come out, and they're likely going to allow them to bring the ball up, so there is no reason to rush bringing the ball up. I mean, yes, you have 40-some seconds, but, take your time, bring the ball up, gather yourself. If it's Carricker bringing the ball up or if it's Honeycutt bringing the ball up, just take a minute, gather yourself, look around, look at what you have, because it is likely, even though they might let them bring it up to the half-court line, they're probably going to swarm them immediately out of as soon as they get across half court. So, if you're Rejoice, again, stay strong with the ball, utilize ball fakes. I've seen Metro fly around, so they might bite on a couple of those ball fakes. and just look for the right shot. Don't force anything. Again, I can't stress it enough. There is no shot clock. Take all the time you need. Rejoice can milk the last 40-some-odd seconds of this clock and take the last shot if they wanted to. All right, here we go, folks. Again, stay with us after the conclusion of this game. We will have the boys matchup here at about 7:30. Honeycutt bringing the ball up now for Rejoice, guarded by Brown. Metro not pressing up like they have been. Honeycutt guarded by pretty much the entire team, trying to keep her dribble alive. Gets it over to Hurst. Hurst gets it inside to High School, and High School's layup is no good. She gets her own rebound. And a foul on the floor, but the ball will stay with Rejoice. The foul was on Brown. Oh, no, they're going to send her to the line. It looked like it was on the floor. But I guess the officials saw it the other way. High School's first free throw is good. The lead is now 1 with 22.7 to go. And Rejoice is going to call another timeout in between free throws. And that was, an ideal possession. High School did a good job sealing her defender. And the entry pass was flawless. Would like to see High School maybe take just a quick second to gather herself before she went up. It seemed like she kind of rushed that shot a little bit, but nonetheless she does have another opportunity at the free throw line to get those 2 points that she could have had. She does have 9 on the game. The second highest scoring Eagle on the night, obviously Madison Honeycutt with a 25-point performance, but has been quiet so far here in the fourth. And majority of the third, Metro doing a good job adjusting onto her, bringing doubles and sometimes triple teams. So ideally, if you're Coach Greenland, you have to draw something up for High School if you do end up getting another possession after this. But High School's going to have to make this free throw to tie. No good, too strong. Metro with the rebound, and a foul is called. Foul is going to be on Hurst. And yes, you have to bring a press. Foul is called on Cassidy Hurst. Powell to inbound for Metro. Rejoice bringing a press now, getting it in. And Carricker went for the steal, but she is going to be called for the foul. A great effort there by Lila Carricker, but just came up a little bit short and is going to commit the foul. That is her fourth. And that will send Reed to the line for 2 to extend this lead to 3. And one more for Carricker, and she will likely be out of this. She will be out of this game. Reed's first free throw too short. Lead will stay at 1. And Honeycutt will go in there in hopes of getting a rebound for the Lady Eagles. Reed to extend the lead to 2. No good, too strong. Rebound High School. Getting it over to Honeycutt. Rejoice in transition now. 15 seconds to go. Honeycutt driving inside, gets it to Force. And the foul is going to be called on Metro. 12.7 to go. Rejoice still trailing by 1, but a big break for them, getting a foul. And head coach Julia Wells screaming for a timeout, and Metro will get it with 12.7 to go. Again, if you're Rejoice, yes, you want to try to get the ball into Honeycutt, but they're probably going to double team her regardless, or just face guard her the entire time. Likely, what I said initially, they will probably double team her. So, you want to try to draw something up and potentially get it into your other big with High School, who has done a good job sealing her defender. It's just a matter of, can they get the pass there? Rejoice has kind of struggled on those entry passes for a majority of the game. So if they can just the big thing is getting that entry pass in. It's a scary pass to make because obviously you're going to have a help side defender for Metro if their, man principles are, fundamentally sound. So that pass can be risky, and you have to have pinpoint accuracy to make that pass. Again, it is risky, but it will be worth the payoff because high school is bigger than pretty much everybody Metro has out there. So she can use her frame and her length to maybe even retrieve a pass that might not be as accurate. Rejoice giving a stack look here with force at the top of the key. Carricker to inbound. Getting it up to high school, but the ball is stripped away by Metro. A great defensive stand. And Powell will go to the line for 2 to try to extend this lead to 3 with 8.4 to go. A golden opportunity for Rejoice. Squandered there by, again, just a lack of ball control. A lack of staying strong with it. And Lila Carricker committing her 5th and final foul. She will take a seat for the remainder of the game. Powell's first free throw is up and good. 43-41. That is her 11th point of the game. And the second one is good. A timeout will be called for Rejoice. That will be their final timeout. 44-41. Again, 8.4 to go here. You need something quick. So, initially, like I said, you want to draw something up for high school. Now it's ideal you're going to draw something up to try to get Honeycutt an open look for 3, as she has been probably, if not the most consistent three-point shooter out of both ball clubs today. She's knocked down 3, I believe, maybe 4. Probably even more than that. I might be just having a mental lapse here, but she's knocked down several three-pointers and has been incredibly efficient so far. But despite having 25 points, she has been held quiet by this Metro defense so far throughout majority of the third quarter and then pretty much all of the fourth quarter. But if you can't get into her, you do have Isabel Force, who is a decent three-point shooter in her own right and is capable of knocking down a look if she is given it. So probably going to be something for one of those two. Checking in for Carricker was Peyton Gittleman. Forced to inbound. Rejoice met by a full court press by Metro, trying to get it into Honeycutt. 8 seconds to go now. Honeycutt breaks the press, trying to get a quick shot off, crossing over, stepping back. Three-pointer is up. No good off the left iron, and it's going to go out of bounds, and that will be it. The clock hits 0, and Metro wins a thriller on the road by 3. Your final 44-41. A tremendous effort by Rejoice, but the second half struggles and woes seem to bite them. So with that, we will take a short 25-minute break, possibly 25. I'm not exactly sure if that's going to be the correct time that's being shown on the clock there, but we will take a break nonetheless and be back with the boys' match. All right, welcome back, folks. Just about 2 minutes away from tip-off. Just wanted to come on here and give a few pregame notes as I was able to talk with Coach Billingsley before the game. And, you know, he really stressed, you know, this is an incredibly solid Metro team. Obviously, they went to the state tournament last year. A very physical team. He told me they like to run around a lot more than Lincoln. And Lincoln, they ran us quite a bit on Friday. So he told us that we just need to, you know, that favors us, but we can't let it turn into a track meet. He said the biggest thing that they need to focus on is limiting turnovers. You know, these guys, they've struggled. Rejoice has struggled with double-digit turnovers pretty much a game. That's what about they're averaging. Ball security is key. You know, Metro likes to run this 4-out, 1-in motion. They, like I said, they like to push the ball in transition. So transition defense is going to be the key. Can speak from experience playing Metro. Going into this week, this game, I guarantee you Tim Billingsley had these guys running up and down and running a bunch of transition-type scenarios to get these guys prepared. He's thinking, you know, since they have, you know, a lot of length, Metro does with, you know, they got a 6'8" kid. They got Moses, the 6'8" senior, and they got a 6'5" sophomore in Sowards. Definitely trying to maybe play like a diamond in one, try to lock in on Moses or even potentially Powell, who is overall the best player on the team. Billingsley jokingly said that he is like Kobe. So locking in on him, going a diamond into one, maybe lock him down or lock Moses, depending on who is more effective so far. We're going to need to see big defensive stands from Nate and ZZ on both of the bigs. They are giving up significant size to them, so going forward, they're going to have to. It's going to have to take everything they've got. It sounds cheesy, I know, but you got to fly around on defense, be physical, and, you know, speed up Metro, be them, you know, make them more uncomfortable, make them speed up and be more uncomfortable. So with that, we're going to announce the starting lineups here for Metro: Goodman, Powell, Emerson, Sowards, and Moses. And for Rejoice, your starting five will be Catron, David Price, and his big brother Nate, Zach Blake, and ZZ Okafulueze. As I was a little bit faster than the PA guys announcing this, so I will continue with this little pregame look here that I was able to talk with Billingsley with. He said he wants to mix several types of defenses. Metro historically has been a pretty good team shooting the ball. So, you know, maybe a zone wouldn't be the best option, but if, you know, they don't take a lot of shots and you want to get them running, maybe a zone would be ideal. But again, man's probably, they said they're going to come out in man. So starting off in man, they'll probably switch to a zone. They're going to flip things around several times and just kind of see what works. They're going to kind of test the waters a little bit to start off, see how Metro responds, see how they adjust. And, you know, this, again, like I said, this is going to be a tightly contested game. This could turn into a track meet. Both teams could be flying up and down the court like we saw with Lincoln. So with that being said, we are going to take a very short break. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Apologies. I did enough stalling. It is time for tip-off. Between Metro and Rejoice. Okafulueze will tip with Moses. And ZZ will win the tip and get the ball to Rejoice. David bringing the ball up for the Eagles, gets it over to ZZ, swinging it over to Nate. Nate immediately gets it back over to David, gets a ball screen from ZZ, picks up his dribble. Nate thought about taking the shot, drives inside, and gets the layup to go. Big Nate, what a take on three Metro defenders. Gets the bucket to go for two, and Rejoice has the first points of the game. Powell in the left corner, guarded by Catron. Getting it back over to Emerson. Emerson on the left wing gets it back over to Powell again, guarded by Okafulueze. inside to Moses, guarded by Price, and Moses going to take a few moves and get the bucket to go for 2. You know, Big Nate, he's a dog, so he's going to do everything he can to contain Moses, but, you know, that 6'8" frame is going to, you know, get him a lot farther than Nate's 6'3", 6'4"-ish frame. Nate now at the top of the key, getting it over to Blake. Blake thought about taking the shot. Gets it back out, takes a ball screen, doesn't use it. Stops, kicks it back out to ZZ, swings it back over to Catron, who's guarded by Powell. Getting it over to Big Nate. Big Nate takes a dribble. Gets it back over to ZZ on the left wing, getting it over now to David. Metro doing some switching, and Big Nate lets a deep 3 go. Too strong off the back rim. Powell bringing the ball up in transition for Metro, swinging it over to Emerson. Emerson on the left wing, driving toward the middle. Dribble handoff back over to Sowards. And a miscommunication there by Metro. Blake there to pick off the pass. Driving in transition, kicks it out to Okfaleze. Driving short corner. Kicking it back out to Catron. Catron has a wide open look from 3, and it's good. Noah Catron knocks it down. And Rejoice's lead is 3. Emerson now having the ball, guarded by Blake. Metro, a lot of motion on their offense. Goodman drove inside, got it over to Sowards, but Sowards' layup is no good, and Catron was not looking for the outlet pass from Price. And Metro was there to get the steal. And Emerson's fast break layup is up and good, so the score now 5-4. Looks like that track meet is going to be starting sooner than anticipated. Big Nate gets it over to ZZ at the top of the key, swings it back over to Blake. Blake thought about taking the shot, gets it over to Nate. Nate trying to make moves on Moses. Swing pass over to David. David resetting the offense now. High ball screen from ZZ. David crosses it back over, drives inside, and a nice move. Cannot finish on the layup. Powell bringing the ball up now for Metro, bringing it back out. Kicks it over to Emerson, has a wide open look for 3. No good, too strong. Okafaleze with the rebound. Pushing in transition, and he is going to get called for the travel. Yeah, he drugged that pivot foot just a little bit. It was enough for the officials to credit him with the turnover. Ball will go to Metro. Emerson bringing the ball up for the Pats. Again, like I said, this team's going to move around a lot and make Rejoice earn every single defensive stop. Moses guarded by Big Nate inside, kicking it back out. Goodman's 3 is up, and it is no good, too strong. Ball will go to Rejoice. Last touch by Sowards, the 6'6" senior. And the inbound pass was tipped, but Big Nate able to retrieve it, getting it over to his little brother now. Guarded by Goodman. Coach B calling out the plays here. A double screen for David. Gets it over to Catron. Swings it over to Big Nate, guarded by Moses. Nate taking a 3, and it's good! Big Nate! Raindrops. And Rejoice's lead is 4. And, you know, you got to get a hand up when guarding Big Nate. He will let that go 10 times out of 10 if he is given the look. Goodman driving inside, kicks it back out, intercepted by Catron. Catron pushing the pace, gets it over to David. David driving inside, gets it over to ZZ. Swing pass over to Zach Blake. Yes, sir! Zach Blake knocks down the 3 on the right wing, and Rejoice now has a 7-point lead, 11-4, with 3:49 to go here in the first. Emerson swings it over to Powell. And a foul called. Foul's going to be on Zach Blake. That's his first. And checking in quickly is going to be number 0, Jaden Foote. Goodman gets it in to Emerson. Guarded by Foote. 3 is up from Sowards. No good. Rebound, Catron. Getting it over to Big Nate. Big Nate gets it over, trying to get it over to his little brother David, but it was intercepted by Goodman and trying to make the save, but he just sails a pass out of bounds. Ball will stay with Rejoice. Priced inbound. And there is a blatant hold from Sowards, but the refs are not going to call it. And David tried driving inside. Foul is called on the floor. That is going to be on Goodman. That is his first. And it looks like Zach Blake took a quick breather. He's going to check in for Noah Catron, give him a quick break. Early substitutions, getting guys in and out quickly. A decent strategy for a team who's going to be making y'all run like Metro will. Price gets it over to his big brother, Yes. Nate's jump shot is short. Metro pushing the pace now, getting it over to Powell. Powell swings it over to Emerson, top of the key, gets it over to Goodman. Goodman has another wide open look. Yes. Knocks it down. Caden Goodman had a look earlier and was unable to convert, but he did not miss 2 in a row. High ball screen. David trying to stay in possession of it. And a foul is going to be called on Goodman. That is his second. And it looks like Metro will be making a substitution for him. Luke Brewer.
Number 12, Eric Holmes. Number 23,
No, not Luke Brewer.
Metro, Rejoice Ball.
Kaiden Mills. Okfueze, top of the key, now getting it over to Price. Guarded by Holmes, who was just checked in. Nate's going to let another 3 go. Raindrops! Nate Price with his second 3. And again, you see that very quickly. Rejoice audibling into that diamond in 1. Likely going to be heavily guarding Powell as Emerson's elbow jump shot is no good. Rebound, Mills, and his putback is good. 14-9 your score with just over 2 to go here in the first. Nate gets it over to ZZ, high post. Dribble handoff for Nate. And an offensive foul is going to be called. And Coach Billingsley not particularly a fan of that one. And to be fair, I did not see much of anything to initiate a foul, but that's why I'm up here at the table and those guys are down there on the floor. Emerson swings it over to Mills. Back to Emerson, driving left side, guarded by Blake. Swings it back out for Moses. Moses top of the key 3. In and out, no good. Rebound, Powell. And a foul is going to be called on Jaden Foote. That will be his first. A smart foul, as that was going to be a easy 2 points for Powell, who has been held in check so far by Rejoice. Looking for his first points here. First free throw rattles in. It's good. And Catron will check back in for Foote. And make it 2 for 2 as Powell makes both of his free throws. Metro now going into a press, trying to hurry up Rejoice a little bit. Potentially, again, trying to initiate that track meet, that run and gun style offense. David Price lets a 3 go. No good off the back rim. Rebound Metro. 2-on-1 situation. Emerson has the ball on the left wing now. Driving inside, kicking it back out. Holmes trying to make some moves on Okfueze. Kicks it over to Mills. Mills gets it over to Emerson. Emerson gets inside to Moses, and you got to call a travel there. And yes, the refs are going to get him with the travel. I was going to say, I did not see the ball touch the floor once when he had the ball there. And Troy Moses will check out for Metro in favor of Jack Pinter. Well, not Pinter. Excuse me. Grayson Collins. Three ball for Blake, up and no good. Rebound Okfueze, it is good for 2. Lead is 5 now for Rejoice. That's ZZ's first bucket of the game. Inside to Sowers, trying to make the moves on Nate. Unable to do so, as he kind of had a wild attempt at a layup, as Blake is now pushing the pace for Rejoice. Stops, pops a short corner jump shot, and it's going to circle in, toilet bowl in, if you will. It's Zach Blake with his 5th point so far. Metro now, again with that quick offense, gets it inside to Soward. Soward's tried getting it over to Mills, who had the backdoor cut, but is fouled. Foul's going to be called on ZZ. That'll be his first, so nothing to worry about. Foote's going to check back in after taking a quick break. And that free throw is going to take a few friendly rolls and go in. And Nate Price is going to take a quick seat. Likely not for long, though. As like I said earlier on, Timmy B's making some quick substitutions, getting guys in and out, trying to give Metro different looks. Rebound Foot. 35 seconds left. Metro doing an early full court press here, trying to speed him up. And Zach with a risky pass. It is tipped off by Metro. ZZ able to get it back, though. Kicks it back out to David. Over back to Catron and back out to David again. And they're just going to reset and likely take the last shot here of the first quarter. 16 to go here. Rejoice's lead is 6, 18-12. And it is tipped and stolen away. Metro moving in the fast break. And the layup is up and good for Mills. And that is the last thing you want to see, as Rejoice's 6-point lead is cut down to a 4-point lead. And after one, Rejoice leads 18-14. Want to apologize again, folks, for the struggle of the video quality, the poor video quality, cutting in and out of getting kind of pixelated and then it goes clear. We're going to try to make that adjustment in the coming broadcasts. We plead for your forgiveness there. It's just something, that's out of our control, and we're going to, make that fix going forward. Saw a couple of comments there trying to, figure out what's going on. It's just it's a software issue, so we apologize for that. But after one, this game was, like I was saying in the pregame, this is a track meet. Both teams are out and running. Metro trying to speed up Rejoice. Rejoice, likes to play fast, but from what we've seen, they like to take their time and, move the ball around quick, but wait and take the right shot. They're totally content with taking time off the clock. Again, no shot clock you have all the time in the world. Metro, they're wanting to get shots off quick. If they can score in transition, that is their number one ideal situation. But if not, if they have to sit down and run a set, it is a quick set. I mean, it's 2-3 passes and a shot's going up. So either Rejoice is struggling defensively or that's just how Metro is. But, speaking from experience, Metro, they do like to play fast and they like to get shots up quick. So that is definitely Metro just playing their style. Here we go now in the second quarter. Sowards in the right corner now. Gets it over to Moses. Quick handoff over to Powell. Three-pointer is up, and it is good. Eric Holmes knocks down the three, and the lead is now 1 for Rejoice. And I am liking that look of keeping ZZ at the top toward the middle, as David Price is looking to respond. Puts a lot of mustard on that, and that's going to be an air ball. He wanted a tip, but the refs were not going to give him anything. Metro now in possession. Ball in the left corner over to Powell. Getting back over to Holmes for his second three on back-to-back possessions. That's a bad miss, missing wide to the right. Zach now pushing it in transition, gets it over to Catron. David now in the short corner, hesitates. Gets it out to his big bro, Nate. Takes a three. Too strong, no good. Rebound, Moses. And again, it's really hard to box him out and game plan for a guy like him who's got that 6'8 frame. And speaking of, he's going to let a three go, and it's going to rim in and out. Rebound, Powell. No box out whatsoever. And Metro takes their first lead of the game, 19-18. Catron now. Swing pass over to Big Nate. Big Nate dribbles into a couple of Metro defenders, and he is going to draw the foul. Likely going to give that one to Brewer. Yes, and they're going to give that to Luke Brewer. That is his first. Blicked inbound for the Eagles. David heavily guarded by Holmes. Again, that swarming defense of Metro that they have been historically known for. And it's worked for them as they made a deep run in the state tournament last year. ZZ in the post. Lost his footing a little bit. Nate with the rebound, misses. ZZ gets the rebound, trying to go back up with it. Going to take a few friendly bounces and go in. Zazie Okfueze knocks it down for two and regains the lead for the Eagles. Holmes gets it over to Brewer in the short corner. He's going to let a jump shot go. No good. Two, not enough. Rebound, Price getting it over to Blake. Skip pass over to David. David ball fake, gets it over to Catron in the corner. Catron lets a three go, no good to the left. Rebound Holmes. And again, the Patriots are running. Holmes trying to go coast to coast, gets a beautiful pass off to Moses for two. And Metro will take another lead, a quick lead change back and forth. And Coach Tim Billings is going to take an early timeout here in the first half, not liking what he's seeing. As like I said in the pregame, they were prepared for this type of situation. Metro Patriots, they're wanting to run. They like that run and gun style of offense. They do not like to settle in. Kind of the opposite of what a Regent or somebody would like to run, where they just want to milk as much clock as possible. They're content with taking 2-3 minutes off the clock, versus, Metro, they're wanting to score, like I said, within the first 2 or 3 passes. They are in an absolute sprint, if you will, to get a bucket. So definitely going to have to just clog the lanes if you're Rejoice. Like I said, just stay focused on Moses. They're doing a really good job of containing Powell. Powell only having 4 points so far, and I believe 2 of them were at the free throw line. So overall, a really good job containing the quote-unquote best player. So, if they can – but it's hard because you kind of have to pick your poison. You can either sell out on him or you have to, try to sell out on a guy like Moses, who, again, with that 6'8" frame is difficult to guard, even for somebody who is, a big guy like 6'5", like ZZ. Metro showing press here. Foot gets it to the middle to ZZ. ZZ swings it back over to Catron. Catron gets it over to David. Gets it inside to Nate. Nate trying to put the moves on Moses, and he does. Nate Price with his 10th point of the game so far, and Metro quickly bringing it right back down as I'm trying to take a look up at the scoreboard, and they scored just like that. Emerson. Rejoice looking to respond now, 23-22 in favor of the Patriots. Nate swinging it over to Catron. Catron takes one dribble, thought about something, gets it over to Jaden Foot. Jaden gets it in the high post to Nate. Nate trying to drive inside, and he's got it! Nate Price proving to be a problem here for the Patriots early on as he's got 12. Sowards pump fakes, drives inside, met by Nate again, but he's able to put the moves on him just a little bit quicker that time. Good footwork to make the layup for 2. Jaden guarded by Holmes. Holmes strips it away, and again, the Pats are running in transition. Powell looking for a foul, does not get it. Sowards gets the rebound, though, and puts it in for 2. Metro now leading by 3. 27-24 with just over 4 to go here in the first half. David driving inside, kicks it out to Catron, steps into it, lets it go. Too strong off the back iron, no good. Rebound Sowards. Trying to push it in transition. David with the interception. Crossing over, driving inside. Thinks about it, stops, fades away. It's good. David Price. We would like to see a little bit more of that, as that mid-range has been his money spot from the past couple of games that I've seen. Moses driving inside on Nate. Too strong, no good. Rebound Sowards, and they're going to call it on the floor on Okafueze. That'll be his second.
That's his second.
And Zach Blake and Tristan White will be checking in. Get ZZ a quick break. He has not taken a seat so far in the game. He is now. And Emerson will check in for Holmes. Holmes has been a pest in his own right for the Pats so far. Powell lets a fading 3 go and knocks it down on Catron's head top, 30-26. David swinging it over to Zach. Immediately gets it back over to David, who is at the top of the key. Gets it over to Zach now on the right wing, and Tim Billings is going to call another timeout to try to draw something up to potentially stop the bleeding here again. The biggest thing, that he talked to me about before the game was limiting turnovers, and I think, that goes for every team. But for a team like Rejoice, who has been averaging double-digit turnovers so far this season, against a team who likes to run like Metro does, that is the absolute last thing that you want to, do. So I think ideally going in, for the rest of this first half and then the second half, I would like to see them slow it down. You have 10 seconds to cross half court. I would like to see, ZZ flash middle a lot more, which he has been, but, utilize that press break, swing the ball around, be patient. You have 3 timeouts. If you get stuck, call one. Don't risk turning the ball over. Again, just be patient. They were really patient against Lincoln. If they're able to replicate that at least 50% to a team who is better than Lincoln in Metro, then, they'll be set and be able to compete the rest of this game. Catron now with the ball, swings it over to White, gets it over to Zach Blake. Zach Blake, corner 3, no good, too strong. Rebound by Brewer, who gets it over to Emerson. Emerson guarded by Price. And it looks like they're going to give the foul to Price, but to me it looked like Emerson was kind of extending his arm a little bit. But those fouls come very few and far between. Brewer inbounding to Emerson, top of the key, met by Price. Gets it over to Brewer, guarded by Blake now, inside to Moses, who has been guarded by Big Nate. Big Nate Moses kicks it back out to Emerson. Emerson gets it over to Sowards. Sowards putting the moves on ZZ. Spin move, nice move by Sowards, who gets it to go for 2. And again, it's really hard to game plan for guys who are, for teams who have 2 bigs over 6'5". Sowards with a 6'6", 6'7" frame, and Moses, who stands at about 6'8", 6'9". It's difficult to game plan for those guys. David now at the controls for the Eagles. Just under 2.5 to go here in the first half. Swings it over to Catron. Getting it in the corner to Zach. Zach gets it back out to Catron. Immediately met by Powell. Gets it over to David. David trying to make the moves on Powell. Powell staying solid. Gets it in the high post to ZZ. Takes a dribble. Gets it over to David. David shot fake. Drives inside. Layup is up. Too strong off the left backboard. No good. Rebound. And ZZ's going to go to the line for 2. One thing we can't question about this team is it's the most overused word in sports in my opinion, but the physicality of this, Metro obviously is very physical, but Rejoice is physical in its own right as well. So ZZ is going to convert that first free throw. Without playing as hard as this team has been doing, we probably don't see an opportunity like this. So Metro's lead has now been cut down to 5. And ZZ knocks down both free throws. 32-28, just under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Emerson swings it over to Holmes, guarded by Blake on the left wing, getting it in the high post over to Moses. Moses gets it back down to Powell. Catron tried drawing the foul. Refs were not going to give it to him. They saw the Oscar-nominated performance that he just put on there and said, no, sir. David, top of the key. Swings it over to Catron. Catron gets it over to Blake. Gets it back over to Catron now. Short corner to Nate. Nate thought about spinning, steps back and knocks down the short corner jump shot. Nate Price with 14. And ZZ almost got a rip there. Metro being a little bit lackadaisical with the ball as Emerson's guarded now by Catron. High ball screen from Moses. Gets it over to Emerson. Emerson swings it over to Holmes in the corner. Now Moses flashes. Misses, but the rebound is caught midair practically by Holmes and gets the putback. 36-30 is your score. 52 seconds to go here in the first half. David met almost immediately at half court by Holmes. Gets it over to Catron. Swings it over to Blake. Blake now driving to the right side, getting it inside to Big Nate. Big Nate trying to put the moves on. Kicks it back out to Catron. Catron driving to the middle. Swarmed by several Patriots, and it is stolen away by Holmes again. Holmes now pushing it in transition. Gets it over to a Patriot, and Mills misses the fast break layup, and the foul is going to be called on Mills. A little bit of a frustration foul, probably missing a practical gimme layup. And a substitution will be made for the Patriots. Jack Pinter will check in for Troy Moses. That's a pretty cool name, not going to lie. Troy Moses. ZZ inbounds it over to David, who is double-teamed almost immediately, trying to get it back to ZZ. And a foul is going to be called on Powell. He wanted the jump ball, but the refs saw a little bit too much extracurricular activity going on there, and he's going to get credited with the foul. That will be his first. Powell's earned most of his points at the free throw line tonight. He's got 11. ZZ bringing the ball up now for Rejoice. Gets it over to David. David now at about the logo, guarded by Holmes. 12 seconds to go. Ideally, Rejoice will be taking the last shot here. David trying to drive on Holmes, and Holmes is going to be called for the foul. That hand check is just not going to be tolerated. These refs are not going to allow you to do it. I used to try hand checking myself. I mean, I was a little more subtle with it, but Holmes practically was changing his direction and locking arms with him, so David will go to the line for 2. And no problem. The first one's going to rattle in. And Metro will bring in several subs. Goodman will check back in. Sowards will check back in. Sorry, I'm trying to get the roster here. Luke Brewer will check back in. And David puts a little too much honey mustard on that one and misses it, so the lead will stay at 5. 3 seconds, Metro trying to get a quick shot off. Brewer trying to drive inside and get the short corner shot to go, and it is no good. So at the end of the first half, Metro has a 5-point lead, 36-31. We will take a short break, but really quickly, I just kind of want to note out my first half thoughts here. You know, the turnovers are the story of this game. If Rejoice limits the turnovers, there is a big chance they still have this lead, as they are doing a fairly solid job, you know, making Metro earn their buckets, and Metro hasn't gotten a whole lot. Metro's earned a decent amount of their points at the free throw line, at least 6-ish from Powell, and then a few more from Emerson. So overall, done, you know, a solid job defending the Patriots. I mean, holding them to 36 points. That's pretty solid. I mean, Rejoice having 31. They're scoring. So, again, I think just the biggest game plan, you know, that needs to change is, you know, slowing down the pace of the game. Make Metro fly around. Make them, you know, make a mistake. And there's plenty of guys like Zach Blake, Noah Catron, Nate Price, David Price. They can all knock down jump shots. And then ZZ, you know, he can knock down his mid-ranges, and he can, you know, be open inside. You just have to wear this team down. That's the best thing. You know, slow the pace of this game down. The absolute last thing a fast team wants to do is slow down. They want to just get out and take care of business. So if Rejoice can slow the game down, limit the turnovers, they're going to do just fine. So with that, we'll be back here in about All right, we're just about to get set underway here for your second half of action between Rejoice and Metro. Again, we do apologize for the picture issue. That is a software problem that we cannot fix at the moment, but going forward, that should not be a problem. Just want to point that out again. Metro has a 5-point lead, 36-31. And again, just for Rejoice, like I said at the beginning, right before intermission, slow the pace of the game down, limit the turnovers, just be strong with the ball. You're doing a good job defending Metro in the half court. They've not done a whole lot. Some of their points are being earned at the free throw line, and then majority of them are in transition. So just limit that, and this will be a competitive game for the next 16 minutes. Blake to inbound to start the second half. Pats clearly didn't know the dress code, forgot to tuck in their jerseys. It happens. All right, Price now bringing the ball up for Rejoice to start the second half here. Gets it quickly over to ZZ. Swings it over to Big Nate. Back over to David. David gets it over to Zach in the right wing. Nate now top of the Kings. Swings it back over to Catron. Catron looking for an open guy. Gets it over to Blake. Blake driving inside. Brings it back out. Bounce pass over to David. David ball fakes, gets it over to Nate. High post, gets a beautiful pass inside to ZZ. And he will go to the line for two. A good look inside. That is the ideal situation and matchup we would like to see. Big Nate high post, really kind of a point forward. He has great vision. He can handle the ball well, and, of course, he has a strap. So, you know, it's kind of like having a second or third guard out there. So, Okafolese missing his first attempt. And the second one's too strong as well, but Blake with the rebound gets it back out to Price. Back over to Blake. Two are playing patty cake right now, giving the ball back to each other. Gets it over to Catron. Immediately gets it back over to Price. Quick ball reversals. They're not really going anywhere, though. Catron thought about going inside, kicks it over to Price. David drives inside, gets his pass deflected, and it goes out of bounds, but will stay with Rejoice. Getting it into ZZ. Catron on the left wing gets it over to David. David making moves, gets it inside to ZZ, kicks it back out to Catron. Catron over to Blake. Thought about it, takes a few dribbles, gets it back over to Catron, top of the key. ZZ high post now, trying to make some moves on Emerson. Gets it over to Blake. Now Nate, short corner. Skip pass over to Catron. Catron has a good look for three. Raindrops! You betcha. Noah Catron knocks down his second three-pointer of the game. Metro looking to respond quickly. No, short off the right iron. But they get their own rebound. Too strong that time for Goodman. Rebound Rejoice. Okafolese pushing it in transition. Guarded by Goodman. Gets it over to Big Nate. Big Nate takes a few dribbles, trying to drive inside. Draws the foul. Officials are going to say it was on the floor. That is going to be on Powell. That is his second foul of the game. Price to inbound now. Trying to get somebody. Tries to get it over to Blake, but it is tipped away by the Pats. Emerson now pushing the pace for the Patriots. Gets it over to Powell. Powell gets it Goodman. Moses high post immediately gets it down low to Sowards, but he is called for the charge. Good job standing in there and taking that lick. We've seen a charge now in both games. Price swinging it over to Catron. Over on the right wing, takes a few dribbles. Gets it back over. Trying to get it into the high post Okafolese, but it is tipped away by Metro. Sowards driving inside on a couple of Eagles. Foul is going to be called on David Price. That is only his second, though, so nothing to be too worried about so far. Emerson to inbound. Getting it inside to Moses, who had a good look and just was not able to convert, didn't put enough on it. And they get stuck in between the backboard in the rim. And the ball deflects off a couple of players, but will stay with Rejoice. Metro flying around now. Those ball fakes that I was talking about would definitely be useful. They seem very jumpy so far to come out of this to start the second half. Big Nate setting a screen for his brother, gets it over to Catron. Inside to ZZ, kicking it back out to Blake. Blake swing pass over to Catron. A little wide of the pass. He was able to retrieve it, though. Gets it over to David. Over on the right wing now. Screen from Big Nate. David thought about going inside, doesn't. Gets it over to Zach. Zach lets a three go. No good, too strong. Another, loose ball, but Rejoice is able to come up with it. Blake swings it over to David. David with the ball fake. Metro staying disciplined and not biting on it. Blake now on the left wing. Kind of lost control of his dribble there. Swings it over to Catron on the right wing now. Fakes a spin. Short corner, kicks it back out to Blake. Blake with the extra pass over to David. David driving inside, takes a few steps, goes up with the layup, and it's good! Big time take from David Price, driving in on pretty much the whole team there, but is immediately called for another foul. That will be his third.
That's his third.
The Rejoice faithful did not like that, but at the end of the day, it was a foul. Emerson with the ball now for Metro. Tie ball game, 36-all with 4.5 to go here. Goodman has a wide open look, and they're going to let him take it, and he's going to knock it down with ease. Not sure if that was a defensive lapse there or they're just content with Goodman shooting the three. And David Price slices and dices through the lane to get another big-time layup. And Emerson with a nice hop step, not able to convert on the layup. Soward's got the rebound, misses his putback. Oklahoma with the rebound, pushing the pace now over on Goodman, slowing it down now, kicks it back out to Big Nate. Big Nate lets a three go. In and out, no good. Rebound Metro. Powell pushes it over to Emerson on the right wing, gets it back over to Powell. Powell driving inside, no good. Short rebound, and he gets the bucket to go for two. Powell's got 13. 41-38. That does not look, oh yes it is, 41-38. Not entirely sure what the whistle was. The foul's going to go on Okafor. He was setting an illegal screen. That'll be his third foul of the game. Coach Billingsley going to keep him in the game, though. Kind of a risky move here with just 3:39 to go here in the third. Plenty of ball to be played. And he is definitely someone you're going to need down the stretch. Goodman on the right wing, guarded by Foote. Goodman pushing off a little bit. Pass was tipped by Big Nate, and the Eagles have it. Foote pushing it in transition. David with the ball at the top of the key now. Getting it over to his brother. Big Nate takes a couple dribbles, picks it up, swings it over to Blake. Blake gets it inside to Okafor. He's met by a few defenders. Big Nate lets a three go. Too short. Immediately rebounded by Blake. Kicks it back out to Foote. Foote thought about it. He's got the look. He could have taken the shot, but decided to wait and look for a better option. Blake gets it inside to Okafor again, and he is going to go back to the free throw line for two.
That's his second, team four. It is a shooting foul. Since number 23, ZZ Okafor to the line. Shooting two.
And he gets a friendly bounce and knocks down the first free throw. Checking in for Zach Blake will be number 1, Noah Catron, who has knocked down a pair of three-pointers today. And ZZ not able to go 2 for 2. That one rims out, no good. 39-41 is your score in favor of Metro. Powell getting it over to Emerson. Emerson with the ball at the top of the key. Getting it over to Powell now on the left wing, guarded by Catron. Catron gets it into the corner over to Sowards, guarded by Price. Getting it back over to Holmes. Lets a three go. Short, no good. Rebound, Okafor. Pushing the pace now, getting it over to Foote, who immediately gets it back over to ZZ. ZZ zigs and zags through the paint and gets the left-handed layup to go for two. ZZ with a fantastic take to the cup, getting his 9th point of the game. Metro trying to respond. Powell stops, pops the mid-range jumper. Good. 43-41. We're going back and forth here so far in the third, folks. Big Nate driving on Holmes. Swing pass out to Foot. Foot makes the extra pass to Catron. Catron 3-ball. Nylon! Noah Catron knocks down the corner 3 for his 9th. 44-43, Rejoice. Metro trying to respond. Soward's 3-pointer no good, short. Rejoice now pushing the pace. Price driving inside, kicks it back out to ZZ, over to Catron again. Big Nate short corner jump shot, good. Nathan Price has been on a tear so far in this game as he has 16. And Metro's going to call a quick timeout. A great turnaround for Rejoice. And these guys are hyped and the fans are loving every minute of it. And with a minute. And we're back, folks, with just under a minute and a half, about a minute 22 remaining here in the third quarter. Rejoice having a resurgence, essentially. They kind of looked like they were struggling a little bit there at the end of the first half going into the third quarter. But they have come alive here and have taken a 3-point lead over Metro. Holmes inbound gets it into Emerson. Emerson guarded by Foot at the top of the key. Metro running a set here, getting it over to Powell. Powell driving toward the middle, gets it inside, and it is good. Mills with the layup for 2. 1-point lead now for Rejoice, 46-45. Catron bringing the ball up. He is guarded by Powell. Catron has kind of been the unsung hero of this game. He's got 9, 3 balls. David trying to make the moves here on Holmes, driving inside. He is stripped, but he's able to get it over to Big Nate. ZZ swinging it back over to Catron. Rejoice likely going to slow this one down and take the final shot with 42 seconds to go here in the third. ZZ now top of the key. At the volleyball line, he's going to be met by Powell. Swings it to Catron. Catron with the ball fake. Metro readjusts back into their defense to their assignments. 28 seconds to go here. ZZ just going to bring it back out, kind of reset. Take a minute for the last shot here, guarded by Moses, but Powell coming to bring the double if needed. Dribble handoff, rather, over to David. 15 to go here now. David guarded by Holmes gets it over to ZZ. 12 to go now. Rejoice needing to run something here. Under 10 now. ZZ driving inside on Moses. Kicks it out to Foot. Foot's 3-ball is up. No good to the right. Catron tried putting the shot back, but it is blocked by Moses. And Metro trying with that last second heave comes nowhere close. So with that, the third quarter comes to an end, and we have a great game for you right now coming into the fourth. 46-45 Eagles after a solid run there to end the third quarter. I definitely like what I saw, and I'm sure you all watching and listening at home, and those of you who are here in Rejoice Arena probably like what you saw if you're watching this, broadcast back. The guys have done a fantastic job on defense. They're flying around. They're limiting the turnovers. They're staying smart with the ball. And if they do somehow have a little bit of miscommunication, a mishap where the ball gets loose, they're immediately diving on it, trying to, either get a jump ball or tipping the ball over to, the nearest Eagle to either A, stop the transition, or B, keep the ball in possession, obviously. So overall, a fantastic job in the third quarter by Rejoice. Metro kind of having no answer for that. None of their shots were falling. They're turning the ball over. They're not doing a good job on defense. But, there's another quarter to play. We have 8 minutes to go, and it's a 1-point game. This has been deadlocked pretty much the entire way through. So here we go with the fourth quarter.
Rejoice 46, Metro 45.
And the timekeeping crew needing to start the clock. Needing to set it to 8 minutes. There we go. And Metro will start with possession. Emerson guarded by Blake. Swings it over to the left, over to Holmes. Holmes gets it back out top of the key after the pass from Moses. Swings it over to Mills. Mills gets back to Emerson. Emerson swings it back over to Powell. Powell gets it high post over to Moses. Holmes with the ball over on the left wing, gets it back over to Moses at the high post, looking for the backdoor cut from Emerson, not able to get it. Powell tried the dribble step back, did not work. Holmes putting the moves on David Price. Moses going inside, and he gets the dunk to go for two. It was kind of a weak dunk. I don't even really think his hands touched the rim. I think he just kind of dropped it in there. Metro now incorporating a full court press, and a foul is going to be called. Foul's going to be on Powell. That's his third. And this is where Rejoice needs to stay as laid back and just relaxed as possible, because this Metro team is going to be flying around, running a full court press for the remainder of this game. Tight pressure man-to-man defense. They are not switching up. Price now top of the key. Bringing it over to the right side, gets a ball screen from David, gets over to Catron. Catron gets it inside to ZZ. ZZ gets it short corner to Nate Price. Nate Price thinks about it, takes the shot, no good, short, not enough. Rebound Metro. Mills pushing the ball for the Patriots. Gets it over to Powell. Powell bringing it over toward the middle, guarded by Catron. Stops, goes right side now, short corner, spins back toward the middle. Kicks it back out, high post to Moses. Moses gets it out to Emerson. Emerson thought about it, doesn't go for it. Gets it inside to Powell on the great backdoor cut. And Metro takes a 49-46 lead. That's something you got to stay aware of. Got to stay locked in on off ball. You know, that's, like I said in the last broadcast, shell drill comes into play. Your man-to-man principles have got to stay solid in these types of situations. Blake now with the ball on the left wing, gets it back over to Price. Price at the top of the key, gets it back over to Catron. Catron swings it back to Price. Price stops, pops, lets three go. No good. Rejoice has been struggling from three-point land for the most part, whereas Metro gets an open look from Holmes, and his shot is no good. It's short. Rebound Price. And Billingsley's saying, go, go, speed it up. Price gets it over to ZZ. ZZ thought about it, drives toward the middle, stops, fakes, goes through, and he draws the foul and will go to the line for another pair of free throws.
Foul number 42. That's his first, team second. Shooting foul number 23, ZZ. Ogunfalazi to the line. Shooting two.
And ZZ's first free throw is no good. Got to think that Coach Billingsley's going to work with his guys on free throws going into the rest of this week, as they have struggled shooting from the line today. And he goes 1 for 2, keeping it now a possession ball game. Still keeping it a possession ball game, rather. 49-47 with 5:51 to go here in the ball game. Powell with the ball on the right wing, gets it over to Moses. Moses swings it over to Mills. Mills ball fakes, gets it over to Holmes. Holmes has the look, doesn't take it, drives inside, kicks it back out to Moses. Moses looking for a dribble handoff. Ball screens for Emerson. Emerson drives inside on Blake. Tried for the fading jump shot, no good. Blake now bringing it up for the Eagles. Gets it over to Big Nate. Big Nate immediately met by Holmes. Staying strong with the ball. Big Nate driving inside, drawing the foul. And Nathan Price will go to the free throw line for another couple of free throws. He's got 16, looking to make it 18.
That's his second. It is a shooting foul number 33. Nathan Price is at the line, shooting two.
And Big Nate's free throw, no problem, going to go in. Lead is now 1. And nothing but the bottom of the net for Nate on his second free throw. And checking in for Rejoice will be number 0, Jaden Foote. Zach Blake will take a seat. Rejoice now incorporating a diamond-type press. Oh, and ZZ's going to get called for the foul. Oh, man. I'm trying to keep it even there, but I do not see where that foul. I don't see that at all. I think that was a clean rip. ZZ obviously a little bit frustrated. He's going to have to take a seat. He's got 4. One more and he's out of there. And, you know, you got to think he's probably going to take a seat for the next 3-ish minutes. So if there's ever a time for Metro to go on a run, it will be now with Oklahoma out. Zach Blake checks in for him. Metro now with the ball. Emerson in the corner, gets it inside to Powell. Powell tried getting it to Sowards, but a jump ball is called, and it will, or a timeout? Timeout. Timeout will be called. Metro will have the ball. Looked like they were about to call jump, but Metro calls timeout. Welcome back, folks. It's For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica rings. The bell tolls and rings for these two heavyweight fighters to come back out here and slug it out for another 4:55 to conclude this slugfest of a game. Both teams have been throwing haymakers for all 4 quarters. Cater now with the ball, met by a couple of Patriots, gets it back out to Price. Price swings it back over to Blake on the left wing now, guarded by Emerson. Picks up his dribble. Gets it back out to Catron. Catron heavily guarded at the volleyball line by Holmes. Gets it back to Blake. Blake thought about taking the shot. Gets it over to Price. Swings it over to Foot now. Looked like there was a little bit of contact there. Blake gets the ball, though. Gets it over to David. David gets it inside to Nate. Nate with a little bit of contact. Going up with it. Eagles are wanting a foul. Not going to get it. Nate gets his own rebound, and they're going to finally call a foul on the floor. That is going to be on Emerson. That will be his second foul. And checking in for him will be number 3, Caden Goodman. Catron inbound now. Gets it out to Price at the top of the key. Kicks it over to Catron on the right wing, gets it over to Blake. Blake thought about the entry pass, decides to bring it back up, gets it over to Nate at the high post, swings it over to David. David thinks about the pass, lets the 3 go. Nylon! David Price knocks down the 3 to take a 52-49 lead with just under 4 to go. Metro trying to respond. Goodman's 3, no good. We'll live with that. Nate trying to bring the ball up, gets it over to little brother David. David top of the key now. Gets it over to Catron. Ball screen from Oklahoma. Nate top of the key now, getting it inside to Oklahoma. Spins inside, and he's got it! And Zizi Oklahoma gets the spin layup to go. A great move there. Swander's trying to respond, and he's got it and one. Jackson Sowards to go to the line to try to convert the 3-point play. And Coach Billingsley does not like that call. Having a little discussion with the Zebra, even though they're not wearing their stripes today. Troy Moses checks in for Mills now. And now Metro going to be incorporating that full court press. Ball screen for David. Double teamed almost immediately. Gets it over to Catron. Immediately getting it back over to David. David pushes it toward the middle over to Zizi. Zizi dribbling it down. He's met by a couple of Metro defenders, and it is stolen away. Goodman now pushing the pace. Gets it over to Powell, who was met by Price, who tried slowing his momentum, but he was just unable to, and he is going to get called for the foul. That is his 4th. And Coach Billingsley's going to keep him in there. He tapped on his head there and said, just play smart. Don't gamble. There is no reason to gamble Well, I mean, there obviously is, but with 4 fouls, I would rather, let my defender blow by me or give up a layup than risk fouling and getting out of this game. Soward's inside, layup too strong. Moses gets the layup to go. I believe Rejoice wanted an over-the-back foul, but they're not going to get it. Blake now pushing the pace. Getting it over toward the middle to ZZ. ZZ driving inside, gets it over to David. David, ball fake, 3 ball. Yes, sir, it rattles in. David Price knocks down another triple. And Rejoice now holds a 5-point lead with 2.5 to go. Moses trying to spin inside on Big Nate. And he is going to get it to go. And Metro immediately calling a timeout, down 3 with 2:19 to go here in the fourth. It's going to get physical here, folks. Metro's going to gamble. You gotta play smart. If you're the Eagles, you got to slow down the pace of the game again. Take your time. You have the lead. You don't have a shot clock. Just slow this. And here we go, folks. Crunch time. 2:19 to go here. And again, what feels like a heavyweight fight here in Rejoice Arena. Two teams slugging it out, throwing haymakers, battling to the final whistle. Final bell, rather, if we're going to keep it in boxing terms. Price now top of the key, double teamed by Goodman and Powell. And Goodman is going to get called for the block. That will be his third. And Brian Flame's going to keep him out there. And David Price, who has knocked down a pair of three-pointers late here in the fourth, will go to the line to try to make a couple free throws. Remind me not to say much because the announcer's curse is real as Price misses his first free throw long. But he laces the second one, and Rejoice holds a 58-56 lead. Emerson now top of the key, guarded by Blake around the logo. Trying to get it over to Powell, who is being guarded by Catron. Catron trying to keep him in front, but Powell able to drive inside. And a foul is going to be called. Who are they going to give it to? Foul is going to be called on Catron. And Billingsley, again, not enjoying this. The late officiating. I've got to say, I've seen these officials before back when I was here, and they did seem to give us a little bit of a problem. Powell knocks down his first free throw. Holmes checking in for Goodman. Holmes, a shifty little guard who can knock down three balls. Powell goes 2 for 2 at the line. We have a tie game, under 2 to go. Getting it over to David now. David pushing it over to Blake. Blake on the left wing now. Bounce pass over to David. Back to Blake. Blake has a wide open look, but is met immediately by Moses. David now getting a ball screen from ZZ at the top of the key. Kicks it over to Catron. Catron swings it over to Blake. Blake now. Bounce pass over to Nathan. Nathan swing pass over to Catron. Catron three ball is up. No good. Too strong. Rebound Metro. Holmes. Under a minute and a half to go. Emerson was not looking but was able to get the pass. Guarded by Blake. And Metro is going to call a timeout. All right, folks, here we go. Minute 12 to go, tied up at 58. Emerson, top of the key, around the logo, guarded by Blake. Bringing it over to the right wing now. Crossing back over. Going toward the top of the key. Metro trying to set something up here, potentially for Powell or Moses. Really could go either way. Holmes looking inside, gets it to Sowers. Kicks it back out to Moses. Moses, top of the key, gets it back over to Holmes. Swings it back over to Emerson. 46 seconds to go here. Emerson driving right side, guarded by Blake. Top of the key now, Moses, guarded by Price. Swinging it over to Holmes, gets it back over to Moses. Moses now gives it to their best guy, Powell, driving left side. It's up, and it's good! 30 seconds to go now. Metro holds a 2-point lead. And Rejoice is going to need a bucket. Do you play for the last shot, or do you try to just get something? David driving, fading. No good, short. Got a foul. And a foul is going to be called on Catron, sending Emerson to the line for 2 to potentially ice this ball game with 16.6 to go.
Fouls on number 1 for Rejoice. That's his second. That's going to send number 14, Henry Emerson, to the line. He's shooting 2.
Emerson knocks down the first free throw. Metro calls a timeout. Whew. It's a nail biter here, folks. Like I said, this is going to be a dogfight the entire way through. Coach Billingsley told me that before the game. This was going to be a track meet. It was going to be a very contested game. It is going to be tight. It's going to be in the trenches. It's going to be a tough one. So, you know, I think overall, Rejoice did a decent job of executing their game plan. I mean, Powell does have 21, but most of them have come to the free throw line, or they're just off little, dink and dump layups that aren't. He hasn't really shown anything in the one-on-one situation where he has scored a whole bunch, but still 21 points, that really hurts you. You limit him to maybe 15, maybe 10. You have a comfortable lead here with, a little bit of time. You potentially are winning this game. So overall, you got to think Metro's going to knock this free throw down, and unless for some odd reason they're going to be told to miss to get a rebound and potentially foul again. I don't know. I think that would be ridiculous, but probably just talking over defensive strategy here. Likely just going to play off if you make this free throw. Allow Rejoice to bring it into the half court. There's no reason to press, because you press, you risk giving up something. Yeah, I think there will be a quick timeout for Rejoice if Emerson makes this free throw, or even if he misses it. I apologize again for the delay, folks, but here's the free throw, and it's good. Rejoice now with 15 to go. Price bringing it up, and as I said, Metro laying back. ZZ now top of the key, driving, trying to get something. Kicks it out to Big Nate. Nate steps back, lets a 3 go. It is blocked. Gets his own rebound. 5 to go here, trying to get a foul call. No good. Rebound David, and he gets the layup to go. Timeout Rejoice, 62-60. David Price, who has had a tremendous fourth quarter, now has 18 points. But I mean, it looks like that might be too little too late, as there is just 1 second to go. You've got to pray for a steal and a quick, as soon as you get the steal, that ball's got to go up. You cannot take any chances kicking it out, doing anything. If you get the ball, you have to put the ball up. So checking in is Tristan White, likely to add some shooting. Fans are on their feet here at Rejoice Arena. Always can expect a tightly contested game between these two squads. Several years ago, I remember we were down about 25-30, and we stormed back and almost beat Metro at their place. This is always a game that can go either way. Both teams are tremendously coached. Metro obviously making a deep run at the state tournament this year, and Tim Billingsley's squad making a tremendous turnaround. With the exception of the loss to Lincoln, they had won 9 of their previous 11 games, now 9 of their 12. looking to go, 10 of their last 13. So we'll see what happens here. 1.7 to go. Holmes appears to be inbounding for the Patriots. Holmes to inbound. Long pass is caught by Powell and beats the buzzer, gets a little bit extra. And that is going to do it here from Rejoice Arena. Metro gets out of here with a tight win, 64-60. A tremendous game by the Price brothers, David having 18 and Nate having, I believe, 17. A tremendous game from both of them. Okfueze having 12. Everybody played well, but at the end of the day, turnovers killed them, and Metro's swarming defense forced them into turnovers, and that's what Coach Billingsley talked about beforehand, having to limit those. And at the end of the day, that's pretty much what lost Rejoice the game, was lack of controlling the ball. So Rejoice drops 2 straight now, 1 to Lincoln, and now another close one to Metro. But we will be back here for the next broadcast. I will be here calling the game, hopefully with my partner, Mike McNeighbor. He was unable to be here tonight. He missed a great one. But